In your face, all over the place. We're online.
Every race week.
You're listening to the
Pitboard discussions.
Okay, yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first session after the chaotic. Should I call it chaotic? Should I call it dramatic? Should I call it eventful?
Yeah.
Eventful weekend at Interlagos, Brazil, 2023. This is episode 21.
Yeah.
Season 2023. Pitboard discussions. We are here. We are live. The boys are ready to share their sentiments. Yeah. As usual, I'm joined here by none other than my gracious co-host Sapa. To my left, less troublesome. No, that's to my right. To my left, Mr. No Cap himself, Muchiri. Muchiri. A lot was going on. Do you introduce?
Muchiri hapa for the review.
For the review.
Yeah.
Where is the energy, man? Ukifanya energy ya viatu bana unakwanga na energy. Energy ikikuja hapa Pitboard hakuna energy.
Inakuanga scripted.
Inakujanga mmepata ovyo. Aya, and to my right, less troublesome Dan. How are you doing, Dan?
Doing great.
Introduce yourself, bana.
Yeah, just less troublesome Dan here as usual.
Less troublesome Dan, aka the Beanie Man himself.
Yeah.
You know what's happening.
Simsima.
Where is the ra? Ila kuna the ra. No. Umeacha Puerto Rico. Uko Caribbean uko. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm your host is the less No. And I'm your host.
The most troublesome.
No. I'm not the most troublesome, man. Yeah. I'm actually the least troublesome. Hapa nyinyi ndio mnakuanga na tumaneno. But aside from that, I'm your host is the trouble man himself. Yeah. Smooth as ice, twice as nice, never had a bad day in my life.
God damn.
You know the drill. And tuko hapa to dissect every twist and turn of Interlagos 2023. We had a lot going on. Na sijui tuanzie wapi. Me, I have a lot to say. Sijui tuanzie wapi though. But without much further ado, nataka tuanzie with the sprint.
Sprint race of the year, man.
Tuanzie na sprint.
Sprint race of the year, you can't deny that.
Tuanzie na sprint. Let's talk about that sprint race, guys. Let's talk about that sprint race. Come on. What do you mean you didn't see that sprint race?
No, I didn't see it as a sprint race of the year.
You didn't see it as his claim?
Yeah, his POV is much different.
POV? Mr. POV, why do you claim it to be sprint race of the year?
Well,
tell the audience.
So first of all, you know, the Brazilian track, Interlagos, it usually has exciting racing. Yeah. And we've been looking forward to this one battle at the front. We've always wanted to see someone challenge Max this year.
Yeah.
And even last year. And I think this is the closest that anyone has been to Max.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes.
No one has ever come close to Max on race day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already know what I'm about to say. You already know what I'm about to say. No, you're actually pampering up my digs.
Leave Lando out of this.
You're pampering my digs. This guy started on pole. Don't forget that Lando no wins. Norris started at pole. Started at pole position. Surrendered the position in the first turn.
Red Bull have a stellar stats.
No, don't give me that.
Red Bull.
Don't give me that. Come on. I haven't seen a Ferrari relinquish in that position on the first turn.
What you mean? What you mean?
And if we did, listen, if we did, we actually took it back before we gave it back again.
What race
Only
was that,
two teams have actually relinquished that good position to Red Bulls in turn one. And that's McLaren and their fellow brothers Uko Mercedes.
Was it in quarter?
I think quarter.
It was in quarter.
Nah.
It was in quarter. Yeah.
Nah. What do you mean?
It was in quarter. Charles. No. Was Charles not on pole in quarter?
Yeah, but he didn't give up the place in turn one.
Where did Max start? He started in Uko 5,
P6.
P6, yeah.
Remember his time was deleted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but back to the sprint race.
No, don't say back to the sprint race. No. We are still turn one. The turn one incident, hizo ni za wanyonge. Wanyonge ndio wanatoananga hizo vitu turn one.
Pole.
Anyway, yes indeed, I have to concur with you to some degree. The sprint race was actually quite eventful.
Can't deny it, man.
Si hapo mbele, more from number P2. Not P2, P3, on to P15 actually.
Yeah, it was really tight.
The reason why it is sprint race for Ramen is because Mercedes performed poorly.
No. Just be honest.
You just want to rub it in their faces.
Yes.
I know why.
Tsunoda overtaking Hamilton.
That was a big one. That was a big one. Ilikuwa lap. I think it was before lap 20s. Ilikuwa hapo lap 17, 18. Lap 17, 18 of the sprint race. We saw Tsunoda doing. He actually would have overtaken him earlier, but
he was being a gentleman.
He was like, you know what? Hey, I'm giving you time to set yourself up. Alikuwa anamwambia we set the position up good for me ndio nikuje nikipita nayo. You know, then kwa the long straight pale the start finish line, DRS is activated. He was like, okay, give me my place back, good sir. We know Hamilton is a knighted guy, so he was like, give me my place back, good sir, and see you on the finish line.
So we had the Mercedes struggling, and that gave us a glimpse of what the race on Sunday would actually be.
And I have something. Remember me. I have something to say about the race and Mercedes.
Definitely. It was a good trailer for the race because the race was actually what happened at the sprint, but on a larger scale. I don't know about you guys, but the race was actually really eventful. From the get-go, it was actually a chaotic start. The beginning of the race was actually really chaotic. We saw K-Mag suffering some damage. There was a Williams there.
Albon.
Yeah, that was Alex Albon. Had terrible qualifying. He's been performing really well in the previous races, like the past 4 or 5 races. He's been doing really good. But come São Paulo, luck wasn't on his side. And he wasn't the only one, because before the lights went out, we had just give me a second, man. Come on, just give me a second. We had it just hit me, man. Just hit me. I was just talking, man, and it just hit me. It's actually the team I support. We actually had Lord Perceval himself losing his hydraulics.
Say his name.
Charles Leclerc.
His second DNS.
God damn.
Yeah, his second DNS of the year. So we had Charles Leclerc losing his hydraulic, and he actually called it engine failure at the end of the race. He actually said his engine lost some power. He lost his hydraulic and some engine power, and the next thing he knew, he was into the barriers. And guys online were actually saying Ferrari actually premeditated their downfall.
What?
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a poster that Ferrari released for São Paulo.
Yeah.
And the poster was actually the SF23 on some, Brazil is always Maracana. The flowers and all that. And guys actually took to Twitter, or X rather, to talk about it. And they were like, hey, doesn't this look like the place the car actually, barricaded to? So that happened.
And it made the marshals. You saw the photo the marshals took?
No, I didn't see the photo the marshals took.
With the Ferrari car?
Oh, come on, man. I didn't see it. Why are you forcing me to see it? And I didn't see it.
Bruh, it was a good photo for, at least it made the day for those marshals.
I didn't see that photo.
Okay.
I feel your pain, man. It broke my heart hearing Charles say, why am I so F-bomb? So unlucky.
Yeah.
God damn.
They should have wanted that Kassad soundtrack. It would have been perfect.
Yeah. It was one of them. And I'm glad to hear you say that, because both of you have been on my ear the whole evening talking about how Lando is the closest guy challenging Verstappen. And I'm like, you guys not seeing the battles Leclerc has been having with Verstappen. You're trying
last
to be
year,
blind
maybe
on that. You're trying to be blind on that.
This is
what is happening with you guys? Are you trying to be blind on that? You're not trying to see that.
This is 23.
You're trying to put Lando in a position he's not supposed to be.
Ferrari has been declining since 2019.
How many wins does Lando have? Give me that Lando win and I'm
0.
Sell you, man.
But
give you anything you want.
How many wins has Charles had
this year
since 2019?
More than Lando. More than Lando. That's all I know. Yeah, that's all I know. But away from that, Lando has been performing exceptionally well. The second half of the season, I have to give him that. Yeah, he's been performing at his level. Yeah, no wins.
He's been scoring the most points after Max since is it summer break?
That's far. Yeah, he has the most points aside from Max Verstappen since the start of the second half of the season. And we got to see a lot going on this weekend, and I want you guys to give me your views on it, especially when it comes to Mercedes, because 2 races ago 2 race weeks back. Yeah? No, 3 race weeks
They were
back.
flying.
Not even flying. It was all about how Hamilton has actually found form and is regained form. And there were talks of what is Lewis Hamilton's peak. Yeah? And guys were all on George's back and they were like, hey, George, pull up your socks. Hey, George, this is Hamilton. You're not supposed to fight him. Hey, George this, George that. Yeah? Then something happened this weekend. So, George Russell, first things first, before you get to the George situation, what are your thoughts on the Mercedes power issue?
I think Mercedes has more problems than just the power unit. But by power, do you mean the struggle between George and Hamilton or what? Or power
The power.
It was actually, I don't want to call it a double entendre, but yeah.
Unexpected one.
Yeah, an unexpected one.
Yeah, I just had to ask for clarification there. So I've always had this perspective or this take after quarter.
Yeah.
Because Hamilton had that canoe floor and also George had the canoe floor.
Yeah.
And you all know what happened. Hamilton got disqualified. Why?
Running the car too low.
It was 1 millimeter by the way.
No, it was actually 0.05.
What?
But was it
No,
Charles? There's someone who
the
said
Charles was ilikuwa less.
for Hamilton it was 1 millimeter.
Yeah, it was 1 millimeter. For Charles it was like half.
But I read somewhere that Charles actually said Hamilton's was actually lower than even what's out in the public domain. But anyway,
Okay.
we all know in this ground effect era, the lower you run the car, the more downforce you have.
Yeah.
I think the performance that we saw at quarter, specifically for Lewis, was because that car was lower and it was illegal. And I still think Mercedes still have rare downforce.
Hey. These are bold claims, these are bold claims.
But you know what happens at Mexico? Mexico, because it's so high, the altitude is so high, you have thin air, so you don't suffer a huge drag penalty compared to other tracks.
Okay.
That's one thing.
Okay, when it comes to Sao Paulo, Mercedes has been performing really well on Sao Paulo. Mm-hmm. But for this particular...
Why is that?
That's the...
Remember,
the big question.
Interlagos is actually shorter than most tracks.
Yeah.
It's actually a smaller circuit.
But if you compare from 20... Is it 2020?
Hey, bro, please don't talk about 21. I'm yet to heal
from 21.
From what Hamilton did to us.
Nini 22, George won there. Now here 23. You know, there was those start with the Hungaroring, but maybe that's a story for another day.
No. Don't say a story for another day. So this is what they say. If you get pole in Hungary, you actually win in Brazil. But that wasn't the case.
It seemed like the stars were aligned for Mercedes in Interlagos, but they performed poorly. So reason for that is still unknown, but what they're saying is that according to Mercedes, they confirmed that that the direction now which they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
It's like it is, trying many things, and then you're trying to go with a certain philosophy, and then you come to a track, and then you are surprised how poorly you've done. So for them, it said it gave them more clarity, and they knew which direction to go afterwards.
I'm calling BS on that.
I was actually you beat me by a millisecond. I was actually supposed to, and you believe that. I was actually supposed to be, and you believe that.
You just have to wait. You just have to wait and see.
Nah, bro. Look, listen. First things first. We know Hamilton has already given up on the car because he said, "Okay, 2 more races with me driving this piece of, yeah." And hopefully it's over and done with. But we all know, man. Listen, the W15. I mean. We know the W15 is coming next year, and it will be an improvement.
What?
Yeah, it will be an improvement to the W13.
Yeah.
You get me, yeah? You get me. An improvement to the W13, something that the W14 was supposed to be. Yeah? So hopefully Mercedes fans next year. Hey, next
as was last year.
Next year's
but next year is... but do you know who owns the next year story? Do you know who owns the next year story?
Who?
It's Ferrari.
Bruh, come on, man. I've already...
That's why he's pulling it on Mercedes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Which club? Mercedes, come on, next year, Mercedes. Hey, woo!
Wait, do you remember the first episode that we ever shot?
Yeah.
I said, Mercedes, you're going to compete for wins in the championship. 2025.
6.
25.
It should
Six.
be. It should be
Before-
on the last
before-
year before.
yes.
It usually happens like that. Is it like
when the team that has been dominating has actually decided we're tired with the domination, we're actually working on the next year's car or the next year's
And teams catching
change of rules and things like that,
And
because
teams
everybody's
catching
trying
up,
to
yeah.
be ahead of the curve in the sport. Everybody's trying to be but it makes sense because Red Bull actually challenged Mercedes the year before
change of regs.
the change of regulations. Yeah, that's a good spot. That's a good spot. Even 2012, before 2013, Mercedes were actually really they were looking really sharp because that's when
2013 they won their first race in 2013 before now winning the championship in 2014.
Yeah, 2013.
But Rosberg had
Even
won
2012, that's what I'm talking about. 2012, they were actually looking sharp.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say about Aston Martin currently? Because Aston Martin are looking really sharp. But let's not get into that yet.
That's an anomaly. Statistically, Sao Paulo is an anomaly.
Let's not get
the
into
norm is not what
let's
we saw
not get
in
into
Sao Paulo.
that. Still on Mercedes, we saw George Russell playing by the team, and the team actually shafting him left, right, and center, man. Bro, if shafting was a sport,
I don't think they shafted George.
bro, I can talk about the things they did to George.
Okay, what did they do to George?
Crimes against humanity.
What did they do?
That's what they did to George. Listen, George was stuck behind Hamilton for a good 3, 4, 5 laps.
Yeah.
And he was actually putting up better times. And Hamilton was visibly struggling. George could feel he was faster. And he asked the team if he could be allowed ahead of his teammate. Yeah. But the team, they kind of vetoed that. And they were like, no, hold your place. And by holding his place, the teams or the guys behind were actually catching up to him. Yeah. One of the guys catching up to him was none other than Kapoor Singh, himself. Carlos Sainz, the chili pepper himself, smooth operator. Yeah, and he started picking them out one by one. Started with George, then went to Hamilton. Hey, this is actually a monumental thing because remember Mercedes and Ferrari actually fighting for P2 in the championship. Yeah. So
okay, continue.
That's still, is it 20 points?
Listen, when the race started and we had that DNF, Charles Leclerc before even the race began.
DNS.
Yeah, Mercedes fans were
DNS.
celebrating the DNS. Yeah, Mercedes fans were celebrating because they were celebrating because points gap. They are trying to extend the gap.
They have short-term memory. They're forgetting what happened on Saturday.
Exactly. That's what happened. So I actually knew at the back of my head, I was so confident they were going to fuck this up. Excuse my language. So as it turned out, they fucked it up. And Carlos upped both Mercedeses, took them out, and went into better positions. But Carlos wasn't the only one picking them out, though. There was another person who picked them out.
Who?
Gasly.
Exactly.
Gasly.
Pierre.
Gasly took Hamilton.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gasly was actually performing properly.
And my boy Tsunoda wasn't really that far away.
He wasn't far.
Yeah, but Tsunoda had his moment in the sprint.
On Saturday. Hey.
Come on, hey,
My
listen.
driver of the day, man.
There's only so much a man can take, man. There's only so much a man can take. You want Tsunoda to
and
overtake Hamilton two events in a row.
And that's why Mercedes decided to retire.
They're like, hey,
They can't take the embarrassment.
can't take this no more. Hey, listen, just retire.
Yeah, but I wanted to make a quick comment on what Muchiri said on that Mercedes. I think you said they didn't figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a report that actually came out, an official report, that's saying they thought that they could come to 2023 with the 2022 setup and just add a little bit of downforce because they don't have as much downforce this year. So, and sprint race, you only have 1 hour.
Yeah.
Of setting up your car. Yeah. So they couldn't really tell. On pace-wise, yes, they weren't quick on the streets. Actually, they were among the slowest on the streets, on the speed trap. But on the twisty bits, the Mercedes was actually a little bit fast. But what they couldn't tell was how fast the Mercedes was going to chew their tires. So they only realized that, God damn, this thing is chewing the tires now on the speed.
They wanted to, actually, they had the thought of the park farming thing, so that, and then even if it meant starting on the pit lane, but they were against the nini.
Because I was also asking myself, if Saturday you as in they could see clearly that both cars were chewing their tires.
Yeah.
Why didn't they break Park Fami?
Yeah.
Fix their car for Sunday's race
And started on the pit lane, yeah.
And then that got me thinking, do they really understand what exactly happened on Saturday?
Maybe not.
That's an interesting theory because because now
Maybe not,
it's a situation whereby the team was actually in a dilemma. Do we start from the pit lane, try to maximize our points after fixing our car, or when we are fixing our car, are we fixing our car without knowing what we are fixing?
Yeah.
The latter.
And as I said earlier, they perform well on that track. I'm sure they have very good data on that track and everything. Coming there and performing like that, it leaves a lot of question mark.
Yeah. The new flow, man, and they were praising this new flow. And Hashtag blessed. In the right direction.
He had two podiums in a row. Okay, other than
Who?
The disqualified one, Hamilton, before coming to Sao Paulo.
Yeah, but this is one race that Mercedes would just like to
forget.
They probably don't forget and forget.
I think Toto even called it the worst performance of the season, if I'm not wrong.
I agree.
Yeah. There are a lot of bad performances, There are a lot of bad Mercedes performances. I could start with Bahrain, There are a lot of bad performances. But I'll leave it at that. They aren't the only team, however, that struggled with PU issues.
Ooh.
In terms of PU, we had 3 Ferrari engines actually not finishing the race out of a possible, is it 6? Yeah, 3 teams are supplied
6.
by Ferrari. So that makes 6 engines, yeah? So 3 of them didn't finish the race.
One was an incident.
One was an incident.
Two
and
of them, two are an incident.
Two retired.
2 retired. One
Two
was an
and
incident. One was an incident, 2 retired.
Okay, there was K-Mag and
K-Mag
Charles.
was the incident.
And Charles.
No, Charles was actually a retirement. It wasn't an incident.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an actual retirement. So we had K-Mag, we had Charles Leclerc, and we had Valtteri Bottas.
Mr. Vibes Museruf.
Yeah, the butt naked Viking.
Yeah, like what's happening at Alfa Romeo, man?
Yeah, Alfa Romeo are having a tumultuous season.
Don't ask Bottas. Bottas is on retirement.
Bottas is on retirement. Yeah?
Good vibes and inshallah.
Yeah. So they.
But it wasn't a good look for them. Yeah, it wasn't.
Retired both cars. Did they say what exactly happened? Because they didn't limp back to the pits.
If they did, I haven't seen it yet. If they did, I haven't seen it yet. But some asterisks is there, some queries there to be had. But I guess we'll have to look into that, yeah? Probably we'll talk about it on the space, yeah? On Thursday. So while that happened, Max was on the front dominating.
Oh, before you get that, there was another team as Mercedes was struggling. AlfaTauri now, like they pulled
the fashion club, the fashion team.
Put some respect on their name, man.
Yeah, then they should go on the runway.
Adidas.
Fashion team, Adidas next year.
Yeah, so
is it officially?
Nope.
It's still a rumor, but
do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, it will happen.
I won't be surprised.
We don't know if it's Adidas or Hugo Boss.
It's going to be interesting if Adidas take it because of the Puma deal with Formula 1 teams.
Just have to wait and see.
No, it's going to be really interesting. So what will happen to AlfaTauri? Will they wear... Hey, question to you guys. What will happen to AlfaTauri if Adidas take over, yeah? And become partners of the team, yeah? Because they're going to be partners. Will they start wearing Adidas jumpsuits instead of Puma?
You just have to wait and see. Because that's where I'm very curious to see.
I'm also curious of that.
Very curious.
That's the thin lines of business, the boundaries are getting
so the word out there is after Ricardo came back.
Yeah.
Ricardo, him, is strong in braking.
Yeah.
And before that, AlfaTauri was suffering with brakes. There's some things he changed or he gave his input suggestion.
Yeah.
And in Mexico,
like a top driver.
So in Mexico, like they were, like a top driver.
Yeah.
So in Mexico, they tried different things, but Ricardo's way was working. So coming to Sao Paulo, Yuki now started going the way of Ricardo, and you see, I would say he outperformed Ricardo. And even that leaves a lot of question mark about the story we hear of Ricardo that is being prepped to join Red Bull. I don't know whether it's for his development or Tsunoda might take that. Because right now, Tsunoda is doing well.
Yeah, he is.
Against Ricardo.
He is. He has actually upped his game a bit.
But we both have to. We have to mention that the AlfaTauri had a significant update. I think it was Kota.
What did they bring?
Kota was Suzuka.
Was it?
Bro, they changed a couple of things from the floor to the sideboards to the front wing. Also, I think they also touched the suspension or something. But the AlfaTauri was being called
Within regulations, though.
Yeah, it was being called the RB19B.
Oh yeah.
I remember that name. Yeah, I remember that name. Yeah. They actually had a lot going on.
So it looks like development-wise, they're in the right direction. And I also think Ricardo has a part to play on the development side because he's coming in with his experience.
Facts.
So seeing AlfaTauri also moving from P10 in the constructors up to I think now they're P8. So they've overtaken Haas and Alfa Romeo.
Speaking of team,
and I think they're just 5 points from Williams. So they might actually end the year P7.
yeah.
What a turnaround in a very short period.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot can happen in a few races. Yeah. Speaking of misfortunes and our teams and our B teams, we've talked about Mercedes' misfortunes. Yeah, but there is one team that is powered by Mercedes that went on to re-establish their status and their dominance this season. That team is none other than Aston Martin cognizant Formula 1 team. Aramco Aston Martin cognizant F1 team. Hope I got that right, yeah? Cognizant. I hope I got that right. So we saw one hell of a performance from both Aston Martins.
Yep.
And I was quick to tweet it on the official Pitboard profile. I was quick to tweet it and I was like, what is this? What am I seeing? So reports, Aston Martin actually removed the upgrades. Yeah, reports. Aston Martin, I don't know. It's a report.
They've gone back to the
Really?
This is an alleged. This is an alleged report. You know, it's an allegation. They were
Because
like,
I know
hey.
Fernando did that like 1 or 2 races ago.
Yeah, they were like, hey, get rid of that, whatever that is. We just get rid of it.
Qatar, I think it was Qatar, where they both had different. Qatar or Qatar? No, Qatar. They had different specifications. Sorry.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
There was a
know
time Alonso suffered, and then I think he suffered in. What is the name of that place?
But it was an interesting one to see because at the sprint race, these guys were lagging huko nyuma, and all of a sudden, towards the end of the race, they started waking up. They were like, okay, yeah, we are back in the race.
Well, the sprint race.
Yeah, in the sprint race, they were huko P15, P16. They were fighting those P15, P16 guys. Then towards the end, they ended, I think, like P10, P11, 12 hapo.
Yeah, but you see the again sprint race. You have practice on Friday, then you have qualifying on Friday. Yeah. Remember, this qualifying was very tricky, especially Q3.
With the weather.
Yeah, with the weather. We had mixed conditions. And I think a lot of the drivers actually caught out by the changing conditions. So both Aston Martins took advantage. They did their
super laps.
The track was still okay. And by the time other guys were coming out, we already had mixed conditions. And I think that's how both of them secured those positions for the race on Sunday. But they still had pace.
But okay, they did well. I don't deny that. But when I look at how they have been performing, that's why I'm saying that's an anomaly.
What did Alonso tell you? This is the last time I'm going to.
I remember, and I believed it.
And
You me both.
All aboard.
I'm not onboarding that train anymore. It's
come on, free pass. I'm giving you a free pass.
Come on. I was on board. I got disappointed. I will on board next year.
You board that train next year.
Yeah.
Speaking of Alonso, did you guys hear these rumors that Alonso, was going to replace Checo next year?
Yeah, there were rumors. There was talk of that around, and
they were just
he's retiring.
Wait.
He wants to
that time there were a lot of rumors just spreading all over.
Hey, but listen, I always say this about rumors.
Thanks
when they
Mr.
smoke,
Will
they
Maxton and Mr. the Alberto Fabrega. I think that's
Yeah.
his name.
Alberto Fabrega has some very good insights on Twitter, by the way.
But he said he was wrong later.
Well, did he? He didn't give any hint. He just said, no, I just don't, I'm paraphrasing. I just don't want to believe whatever I'm hearing as rumors in the paddock. Now it was up to
One way of saying, if I'm wrong, don't blame me. One way of saying, if I'm wrong,
Aliosha mkono.
don't blame me. So Aston Martin are having a very, very, very good weekend in terms of the race, and they secured hella points. And the highlight of the race weekend was the battle between Fernando Alonso
And Checo.
Sensei. Play that Japanese Sensei. Fernando Alonso.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Exactly. And Sergio Perez, Checo. And I don't know if you guys heard what Alonso said on the post-race interview. And he was like, when Checo passed me, I thought it was over and done with. And I was like, I was watching his movements, and there was a turn, I think it was the S turn, he braked a bit too early. And I knew, mistake, I'm going to get him. He was like, you know that Leonardo DiCaprio gif? And that just shows you how pure of a racer he is. Because
But he set it up. Like you could see from
What do you mean he set it up?
No, turn one, he went, if you saw it, he went wide. And Checo went a bit on the inside, so he didn't have a good exit.
Compromise the exit.
Yeah, and the sensei took him.
And he was like, he was like, then he was like, okay, your time is up. And towards the finish line, we got to see something we rarely see in Formula One, a drag strip finish.
Yeah.
A drag strip finish. By a drag strip finish, I mean cars. Unaonanga Vin Diesel venye, what is it called, that show? Fast and Furious, where the family show. When they always, the quarter mile, when they look at each other and vroom, vroom, we got to see that finish in Formula One.
Photo finish.
Drag strip finish, man. This is about family.
Yeah.
It's family, man.
It's about family. So yeah, we got to see that finish. Wait, Kwani, when you were watching the race, you didn't say family. When Alonso ended the race, I was like, yes, family. We do it for family. He's in an Aston. That's quote unquote his Dodge Charger. The Challenger that never dies.
And
that's his Aston.
Japanese Honda.
And this other guy is in a very powerful Japanese Honda. That is that is a GTR somewhere. But anyway,
Alonso and Perez gave us some really interesting racing the few laps.
Yeah.
At the end.
facts.
I think my boy. First of all, hats off to my boy Checo.
The whole weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apart from qualifying, he qualified P9 for the race on Sunday. But still, hats off to my boy Checo.
The old Checo
He
is back.
secured P2, eh?
Huh?
Has he
For
secured
the sprint race.
No, for the championship.
Championship.
Yeah. Hamilton is not catching him. Hamilton is not catching him. Come on.
Bro, wait.
Hamilton is not catching him.
Nah.
Not mathematically secured, but Hamilton is not going to catch him because in Las Vegas they are going to have a very bad race. I'm saying it.
Who?
Mercedes.
Are you sure?
Bro, I'm telling you. This is
Why is it because of the cold?
This is not a prediction, guys.
They just need to bring the same wing.
No, listen.
That guy is draggy as
This is not a prediction. This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler alert. This is not a prediction. Mercedes are going to have one tough one in Las Vegas.
Spoiler alert.
Bro, I'm not even joking. You think I'm joking? Okay. So remember when I gave you spoiler alerts on Singapore and I told you guys Ferrari, okay, watch. This is the same thing I'm telling you. Mercedes, watch. You see the 20 points, the gap? We are reducing it by like 15, 14. Wait and see.
Okay, let me finish something on the finish of Checo and Alonso. Now,
take it away.
So, do you know, guys, if they finished at the same time? Like, if they checked the photo. Now, before, if there's a confusion, they look at the telemetry, which is down to 1,000 of a second, and I think they could have. That's where they're supposed to go fast. Okay?
Context, because I think the way you've brought it in, some guys are lost on it. Context, you're actually talking on how close they finished because the gap between them was 100th of a second.
Yeah.
So you're saying if they were
at par,
yeah, at the finish line, walikuwa at par, like the car, everything, point,
zero,
to the thousandth of a second. It only gets to 1,000 there.
Yeah.
To the thousandth of a second. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they check first. The second thing they check.
What do they check first?
See the telemetry. The second thing is the photo. Like if there's
snapshot.
there's a camera at that line that they usually release later. Now, if they are tied with points, tied with at the finishing line,
yeah,
they will add the like it was position 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They will add the points for position 3 and add the points for and position 4 and then divide by 2.
So that's 15 plus 12.
Yeah.
Comes
27.
then divide by 2. It will be 0.5 of a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, did you? You did?
Yes.
I didn't know
I'm
that.
being honest, yes.
I didn't know that.
As of a few minutes.
Oh, you got it from him. Hey, that's why you're Mr. No Comment. Man with the stats. 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 So I guess we've covered everything in regards to Brazilian GP. And we go straight into driver and team of the day.
Yeah.
So
You have never started. You have never started.
So, my driver of the day is none other than Fernando Alonso himself. I had a really good weekend. I remember there were times he was on the radio and the team were telling him, oh, somebody is point something or 1 point something seconds behind you. Checo, that is point something seconds behind. And he was like, I know what I'm doing, guys. We planned this. And so from the get-go, you had a sense or a feeling that this was a planned move. Yeah. And the last I heard of a driver saying, hey, listen, I got it, is Carlos Sainz back in Singapore. That's the last. And before that, it was Alonso again. Remember when he was like, leave it to me?
Yeah.
Which race was that?
Those are the two Spanish guys, by the way.
Hey. No me no hablo inglés.
Wait, no. Hey, I think also Lando. I'm forgetting which GP.
Even Lando had such a line.
Yeah, those are Lando. Lando was. Yeah, I know what to do. Okay.
He's trying to make Lando macho. Lando is not macho. Lando will never be macho.
Okay.
Team of the day.
Anyway, that was my drive of the day. Team of the day had to be Aston Martin again. Aston Martin had a really good team performance because Lance actually had a decent haul of points.
Yeah.
And we've always been having a dig or having a go at Lando. No.
Lance.
Not at Lando, at Lance.
Yeah.
No, I don't go. They don't take digs at Lance. I only take digs at Lando. Yeah. So Aston Martin, my team of the day, my driver of the day. Oh, and melon of the day. My melon of the day was
Ferrari mechanics.
No.
Yeah.
Mercedes. Come on. This smile has M written all over it. It has AMG written all over it. Clowns AMG Petronas. I mean, Mercedes AMG Petronas.
Look like an okay, sawa.
This is an AMG smile. This is an AMG smile. My clowns of the day. I mean, my melons of the day. Mercedes.
Oh, I like that. Clowns of the day.
Yeah.
Has a nice ring to it, yeah? Why? Because clowns are in black attires most of the time.
But
it's Mercedes.
you know those clown meme you see on the pit wall?
Yeah. There's a Ferrari
Listen. Just do your thing, man. Just do your thing. Give us your driver and team of the day.
So my driver of the day is Lando. I gotta give it to Lando, man.
Did you vote for him at the end of the race as driver of the day?
This is where I
because for me he wasn't driver of the day.
Yeah, how we want the driver of the day, I just don't understand.
Reason number 7764.
I don't know. Everybody has a reason why maybe they voted for the driver of the day, but for me, it's because of he mounted a challenge. It happened once, yes, but he mounted a challenge, and he said that it was no use to try to challenge Max again. But that is the closest. Like I've never in this season, they were that turn almost going side by side. Yeah, like the back camera of Max, you're only seeing a tip of the wing of Lando. So they were almost side by side. That hasn't happened this season. And because of that, he is my driver of the day.
Team of the day?
Team of the day?
Yeah.
I love to agree with Aston Martin. Although I don't want to jump on that hype train, and I'm still not quite sold yet on Lance. But for this race, São Paulo, I'm going to say they are my team of the day. But as I said, it is an anomaly, but I'm giving them where it's due.
Okay.
Yeah.
Melon of the day.
What happened at the start?
The Williams of Albon was actually trying to move away from the pit wall. Came inside and he got K-Mag, and K-Mag actually the effects, K-Mag actually caught. I don't know the third driver who got caught, but that's what happened.
Okay. So for me, for melon of the day, okay, I want to say George.
Why?
Okay. It is going to get a bit personal. Let me not say it.
So-
It is going to come off.
But that's what we do here.
Okay.
We make things personal.
This is what I believe when it comes to I'm going to say it. When it comes to development of the car, this is usually what happens. You have driver A and driver B. They say now, can we try to do this? Maybe because it fits my driving style, I'll come and say, let's try this thing and let's see the results. So they try like my thing and they see the increased pace or the reduced pace. Or sometimes even during the weekends, you will see me and my teammate, we went different styles, but his was better. So when that usually happens, the team usually tends to go with the guy who is bringing performance depending on what his input is. Mm-hmm. Like in this scenario as well, like Hamilton might say, let's try something like this. And we see results. And especially on Kota, we saw somehow George suffered. Yeah. And I'm going to, even I'm saying it wasn't measured like Hamilton, so I'm not going to like factor in the disqualification. So they went with Hamilton and it worked. So what usually happens, and we saw it even in McLaren, when a certain driver proposes an idea and the team follows and it works, the other driver somehow tries to fit with the conditions that have been set. We see that happening in almost all the teams, from Red Bull, McLaren, everywhere. So when that usually happens, it's all onto the other driver to try to catch up very quickly. And we saw Tsunoda did that from Mexico to São Paulo. So when that happens, you're supposed to like pull up your socks because this guy is delivering. So whenever you something you are instructed by a team or something like that, when we have seen that this driver is able to deliver, so for me, it doesn't really qualify as a melon of the day per se, but I just wanted to highlight about those people who are like, Russell was F by Mercedes and all that. But that is my point of view or my take.
That's an interesting one. I don't think I've ever heard you monologue before, but I've actually heard you monologue today, and it was actually quite, interesting. It was an interesting take. I didn't think of it like that, but at the end of the day, my clowns are still Mercedes.
Okay.
Your driver, team, and melon of the day?
Driver of the day, Alonso.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you vote?
Clean, hard racing. No, I didn't vote. I was busy jumping up and down. Yeah, but clean, hard racing between him and Checo. Mm-hmm. And in addition to if you add Lance also into that equation, Aston Martin really had a good weekend. Yeah. They didn't have a good quali. Sorry for the sprint race, the sprint shootout and the sprint race, but they had a good quali on Friday and also Sunday. That also translated to a really good race for both drivers. Team of the day, I have to give it to my boys, Red Bull. One again for consistency.
Question: did Aston Martin actually take the position back from McLaren? Because McLaren had actually toppled them.
Which position?
Their placing
in the standings.
I don't know.
Let me just check real quick. Mm-hmm. Team of the day.
McLaren. I don't think McLaren have taken that position from Aston. Yeah, but team of the day, my boys, Red Bull. So Max this weekend, he again breaking records. He broke his previous record of most wins in a season.
Yeah.
He's also on another consecutive or consistent win streak. And we just have 2 more races till the end of the season.
It will continue even next season, the streak.
Yeah, but he's back on it. I also have to give Max / the team their flowers for also being on point on Friday during quali. Again, Q3 mixed conditions. If you came out at the wrong time, shafted. Race on Sunday, you start from the back.
In fact,
Max is like always the first guy coming out.
Yeah, but for this Q3, he wasn't really the first person.
Yeah.
But he still timed it right. And also, again, I have to give Max some props. If you look at all races or maybe qualifying days where we have mixed track conditions. Either it's dry, it's slippery, or it's wet.
Yeah.
Or even Qatar when it was extremely hot. Max is still on top. As in, you can't tell that Max has actually been struggling or is struggling. I don't know. I don't know if it's his dad who used to race him during the cutting days when it was raining, but this boy is just on point.
Max
Max
Verstappen is in football terms they call it Project Mbappe. Max Verstappen was Jos Verstappen's Project Mbappe.
I had in Qatar actually the previous. See, he won the championship the previous day.
Sprinters,
Yeah. And he sort of partied a little, so he didn't come like 100% during the race. And it was a very.
I thought alichapa on slippers.
He was celebrating for winning the championship. And it was a very hard race, and he was able still win. So yeah, as you're saying, I'm just
So just to mention some of the things that the team has been able to achieve with Max this year is most wins in a season, most consecutive wins, highest percentage wins in a season, most podium finishes in a season, most points scored in a season, most sprint wins in a season. So whatever we hey
Makofia Max.
And
Makofia Max
it's not just Max alone. Yeah. So I know guys will be like, this season is boring, but we only get to see such performances once in I don't want to say in a lifetime, but in a couple of years in Formula One.
Yes.
So whatever we are seeing with Max and Red Bull.
I think the last time we had anything similar to this was 2013 with Vettel. That's the last time we had anything close to this.
But it wasn't this.
Yeah, it wasn't this dominant.
Yeah. This is the most dominant we have ever seen.
Especially in the 21st century.
Ever in Formula One.
Yeah. And
Ever, yes.
God damn.
Ever.
Like if you look, most race wins
Better than Schumacher in 2000. Was it 1?
Yeah. Now, if we take out the number of races, we look at the percentage of wins in a season, the percentage of appearing on the podium, the percentage of leading the laps. We have never seen something like this before.
Hey, hats off to him. And I remember I told you guys, hey, listen, you guys better watch out for that boy, Max.
Yeah.
We have never seen it before. Yeah.
And
we have never seen what?
And the way you are saying about mixed condition, and I think I remember I said it before, what Joe says, when there's mixed condition, don't think.
Follow Max.
Just look at what Max is doing.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a project child. When your child is born and you know Formula 1 driver. Formula 1 driver. This is Project Senna. This is Project Senna, Project Schumacher. When I get a boy, Project Schumacher.
So again, it's not just Max. Also, the team has been performing.
Yeah. Has always been.
But I think
when they were not winning.
It rubs off people when you're having good performances and the guy's actually doing good work. It starts to rub off you, and that winning thing starts. The gold dust is spread all around the paddock and everything. And hey, listen, there is no room for fucking up because from head to toe, everybody's on their A game.
Big up also to Checo.
Yeah. So
don't leave Checo behind.
Yeah. So team, it was not just Max. I was talking also about the team, how consistent they have been with pit stops.
Red Bull is your team of the day.
Yeah. Pit stops, being on point with the strategy, also setting up the car. As in, you can't fault these guys. As in, usually see when people are coming in to do pit stops, you are sure that Red Bull will do like a 2.5, maybe worst 2.8.
Yeah.
Some other people, not to mention. When they come here, you see a
Mercedes. they are nowhere near top 10. Is it top 10 or top 20 fastest pit stop this season?
They are nowhere near.
They are nowhere. Maybe they appeared once.
Yeah.
But Ferrari is leading the championship in pit stops.
I thought it was McLaren.
Nah, they have the
McLaren
fastest
have
one.
the fastest.
Oh, sorry.
But
Ferrari actually
through the season, they're leading in the championship.
Well, it's not points, but
people, family.
It's something to be
This
proud
is
of.
a joke. This is a joke. People's families are actually somewhere there in Sicily.
No.
For the families, for the Italian families.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere in Sicily, people are actually at the end of a nozzle and they're like, perform. It's a joke.
Keeping it short. Melon of the day, Alfa Romeo. As in, goddamn, what's up with this team?
They're
retiring.
Harsh.
As in,
That's
the rate at
harsh.
which these guys are retiring,
That's harsh.
I think it needs to be studied. FIA need to come in and ask serious questions. Like, is Ferrari giving you second-hand power unit? Like, what the hell is going on?
Which taking it from
was
junkyards,
Audi,
yeah?
was Audi supposed to take over?
Alfa Romeo, yes. But now, hey,
Audi was supposed to take over at Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, 2026. So Alfa Romeo, then they transitioned
Was Alfa Romeo?
to Sauber. Yes, to Sauber.
Yeah.
Then Audi 2026. But no,
Is Audi still in the deal or they checked out?
No.
So there's a rumor that Audi is actually checking out.
after seeing what is happening.
No, I don't think it's actually after seeing what is happening. I think there are actually some issues with the financial structure and the team structure and actually power.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually a power issue. Not power in the power units, but power in actually how everything will be structured.
But Audi are coming in with cash, as in they're buying the team.
I know. That's where the issue comes in. They're like
I think it was.
They want to
I
fire.
think it's buying the team, and also they also don't want to become a power unit. So
they're trying to overhaul the team, and I think there's actually a little power struggle or a struggle going on. They're like, no, we don't want to relinquish what we have right now, and something like that going
But
on.
at the end of the day, it's the money
kind
that we
of
talk.
what was happening with Porsche, but not exactly. Remember the Porsche situation with Red Bull? Kind of what was happening with Porsche and Red Bull, but not specifically. But I think this is my humble opinion. I think it would be good for the sport if Audi came in and drop the cash they're dropping, because these guys are doing well in GT3. They actually have a car, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, I think it's the
R8.
Yeah, they actually have a car.
It's kicking ass, the Fanatic European Championship.
Yeah, they
also in this thing, Dakar Rally.
Or the electric
the
one.
e-tron.
Yeah. And also in Formula E, they were good. Are they still good? I don't know. I stopped watching Formula E.
So Alfa Romeo, my melon/clowns of the day, man. They have been consistent in retiring both cars.
While at that, we have some A or B, and I let you have this one. The way he had his monologue, I let you have your own monologue on what's happening on the WEC series.
Oh yeah, so this weekend we had the last race. That's for the World Endurance Championship.
Yep.
/WEC.
WEC.
And we had the 8 hours.
WEC.
So it's
First of all, can you say sorry for not replying when
you
in
asked
time?
me,
Yeah, I asked you what's the time.
now you want to throw me under the bus. Because of that. Yeah. But it was an 8-hour race, as in non-stop, no stopping. Maybe the only time you stop, maybe it's full course yellow, or maybe there's a red flag or something. People have to.
So was it one driver or two drivers for this?
3 drivers.
Still 3 drivers, even 8 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Hence endurance. It's an endurance race.
It's crazy, and each driver you do a maximum of. Okay, it depends which license or which category do you fit in. Are you a bronze driver? Are you a silver driver or a platinum driver? Yeah. So I think for the platinum drivers, the drivers who drive at the hypercar, which is that top level, they can do a maximum stint of, I think it's 2 hours 20 minutes. That's like a Formula 1 race plus something.
Maximum.
Yes.
There's a cap.
Stint.
There's a cap. Or
Yes, there's a maximum.
Okay.
Per stint, as in you can get out of the car and you can still go back in.
Oh, past stint, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
So so it was an 8-hour race at Bahrain. So it's been a battle the entire year. It's been a battle between Toyota and Ferrari. Toyota being the former champions and the current champions before this race, and Ferrari were actually mounting a charge for the championship. Taking into consideration this is actually Ferrari's first year.
Yeah, and they actually won Le Mans.
Man had
We won the big one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's talking like I don't watch WEC. I watch it and I'm just waiting to hear him say
Wait,
it.
you are waiting for that
He was
moment?
waiting. Yeah, he was waiting for it.
He's not saying it. I'm like, hey, my bro, what the hell are you not saying? Why aren't you saying it?
Yeah. So the World Endurance Championship has each race has 3 categories. So there's the hypercar. These are the cars, the long cars that look funny with a big ass wing.
And like a buggy, like it looks like a bug on the cockpit.
Yes. So we have the hypercar. Then we also have LMP2, Le Mans Prototype 2. Then we have GTE. Okay, so GTE, and for guys who love cars, GT3 cars.
Yeah.
So the prototype cars, the GT3 cars that are prototypes, now race in the last category, which is the LMGTE. So Toyota won the hypercar, followed closely by Ferrari, then Porsche, then I think it was Cadillac. Then for the middle category, which is the LMP2, there is a team called Team WRT. Team, we are a team. As in, it's a kafani.
We are an R.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last category, which is the LMGTE, was won by Corvette Racing. This is an American team. But just to honorably mention, we had the first all-female driver team winning one endurance race. That's the Iron Dames.
Makofi ya wanawake.
and even at the 24-hour at Le Mans, these ladies were quick. They were really quick, and I think they missed the win by I think it was either a few minutes. I'm trying to remember. It was just a few minutes, but they were on point to at least win a race this year. And the sad/happy thing is, and the reason why I'm saying sad/happy is, this is the last year where we are going to see the LMP2 race and also the GTE race.
It was actually scrapped off, yeah?
Yeah. So
we'll have
seeing
the
them
hypercar.
win- Sorry?
Next year we'll have the hypercar
Yeah,
and
so next year we'll be having the hypercar and the GT3. So GT3 will be replacing the GTE.
so when they are going around the field, it like the fastest cars and the in that whole category, the GT3 were the slowest cars, isn't it?
The GTE.
Or the GTE.
Yes, which are just prototypes of GT3 cars.
So we'll have hypercar and
GTE. Sorry, and GT3.
GT3.
So sad and happy. Sad, we won't be seeing GTE cars. We also won't be seeing LMP2 cars. A few drivers probably might lose their spots. Their spots, sorry. And then happy, at least Iron Dames got to win the last race, an all-female team. Happy to see that. And remember the last episode we talked about F1 Academy and how it's good when there's representation.
No, the episode before that, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
and also seeing women excel in motorsports. So so that the curtain's closed this year, and next year I think we are going to see proper, as in an exciting racing. So we are having new manufacturers joining in the hypercar class. So we have Alpine, we have Lamborghini, and we have forgotten the last one.
I already
BMW.
I already know.
BMW are coming.
Yeah, BMW are coming.
Cadillac, are they checking out?
No. Cadillac are still there.
Oh, still.
So the team that left before this last race was Glickenhaus. It's an American/Italian company, and they make that car is beautiful. I think it's the SC7.
Is it more beautiful than the Alpine, the one they released? Because I saw the Alpine that was released for next year. Ooh.
It's
and Peugeot are still there.
Yeah, Peugeot still there.
Definitely.
Me, I think
Those
Peugeot
guys have
had
been
the
there.
best looking car.
Those guys.
What? It's ugly, man.
Really?
Guys,
What?
You can actually.
I like.
You can actually. We will actually.
the lights.
Yeah, the lights. Speaking of lights, go check out the lights of that Alpine for 2024 because they are shaped with the Alpine logo.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I say they're looking good. And you know those French guys when it comes to making cars.
They have 30 less horsepower. but yeah. So next year we'll be seeing more manufacturers in the hypercar. So that's another category of racing that we need to keep an eye on. Then also now the LMGTE/GTE will be replaced by the GT3. So why are they replacing GTE? Is because GT3 actually has more teams in other championships that are currently ongoing, and more cars already fit that category.
Okay.
So now we'll have the Audi. Remember we're talking about the Audi R8. We might be having the Audi R8. We might be having the BMW. I think it's the M6. Trying to remember which specific GT3 car there.
They're taking the 911 ahead of the M4.
I think it's the M6. I'm trying to remember.
It's usually it looks bigger than the M4.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. Either the M4 or the M6. Sorry for that.
There's also
like, they're taking
M8, although I'm not sure if it's.
I don't think it's the M8. The M8 is more like luxury,
Ferrari,
blah blah blah.
There's also a Ferrari 296, which probably might be racing next year at the World Endurance Championship. So we'll be seeing expanded or more teams in both categories.
And Porsche, it's 911.
I think it's
998.
992.
No, I mean, not 998. 992, yeah, I think it's the 992.
Yeah.
But 992 is also a 911, it's just a different variation.
Yeah. But the most interesting thing for me personally, and you might excuse me for this, I have some biases. I've always been a Valentino Rossi fan. So Vale
This is big news. Look at the camera when you're telling us this is big news. Driver number
Focusing at you. Now,
driver number
it's all
46.
good.
Driver
You know
number
that.
46.
Yeah, so Vale actually did some rookie runs at the ETA of Bahrain. So you see, like in Formula 1, you have rookies from Formula 2. So Valentino, in all his experience, is actually a rookie in WEC. So he was doing some practice runs, and I think next year he'll be racing full time in the World Endurance Championship. Yeah,
Great to see how it goes.
yeah. So hats off to Toyota for winning the hypercar category. Hats off to Team WRT for winning the LMP2 category, and hats off to Corvette Racing for winning the LMGTE category.
Hey, my guy, that's great work. You did your homework real well.
Thank you.
Thank you for articulating it for us. And that's it from us here at the Pitboard. The Pitboard discussions where the checkered flag is just the beginning. Yeah. Talk everything, all things motorsport. That was just a glimpse of what will be happening next year. We'll also be covering WEC. I hope you're ready for that, yeah?
Yeah.
Hope you're ready for that. So catch you guys on the next one. Follow us subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Not Facebook. Follow us on X. That's Twitter.
On Facebook.
No, not really. But yeah, follow us on
Vegas
X.
will be at Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Subscribe to our Spotify station. Is it a station? Do they call it a station? Not really sure. And if you're willing or you're trying to join our WhatsApp group to talk all things Formula 1, just hit us up on the DMs, pale Twitter or Instagram. I don't know, I'm calling it Facebook.
Yeah.
Or Instagram. And
Meta.
leave your comments, pale YouTube and whatever. We'll get back to you. Peace. Catch you on the next one.
Peace out.